From CBS 4, this is Haystack TV, powered by HaystackColorado.com. Finding reliable services can be like finding a needle in a haystack. With HaystackColorado.com, finding the needle just got a lot easier. Now, the host of Haystack TV, Chris Kane.
Welcome to this Haystack TV Spotlight. We all make mistakes, and the legal system can be very complicated and intimidating. There's help at Jansen & Associates. They believe a good defense is one that engages you as an active team member. Like every lawyer and company on HaystackColorado.com, Jansen & Associates has been background checked. They are members of the Colorado and Denver Bar Association. They belong to the Colorado Criminal Defense Bar, and they have no complaints registered with the Better Business Bureau. Molly Jansen is the owner and partner of Jansen & Associates. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Now, you do most of your work in criminal defense.
That's correct.
You tell our viewers exactly what you cover in that area?
We do everything from minor traffic offenses all the way to homicide. A good portion of my practice, however, does deal with driving under the influence cases, but we do a lot of major felonies. We pretty much cover the gamut, if you will.
Let's talk about DUI cases.
Sure.
There's been some changes in the law. I guess some of them have been around for a while, but a lot of people aren't aware of them. Can you make us aware of these changes?
Yes, I think that's a pretty important topic to cover, quite frankly. One is that Colorado used to have an alcohol content for a driving under the influence charge of 0.1 or higher. That changed to a 0.08. We were a state that was sort of behind the ball in changing our alcohol content. There's a distinction, just to clarify, that there's driving while ability impaired, which is a 0.05 alcohol content to a 0.079, and then DUI is a 0.08 or higher. And so that's an important distinction. Among some of the other changes that I think are pretty important that people don't understand is that, number one, we have a change in the alcohol content, which is lower. But we also have a change in the testing system. You're entitled to take a breath or a blood test. We used to be able to test your breath sample after you initially gave one and to check for accuracy. We no longer can do that. We're a two-blow system, which means you blow into the machine twice. The ultimate result is the one you're stuck with. Blood, however, is still available for your attorney to have a second sample retested, so that's another significant change. I think overall the biggest change that I want to highlight here today is that all first-time offenders who go to the DMV for a revocation action, if they're charged with DUI, are looking at having an interlock ignition device placed into their vehicle for a period of time, anywhere from 4 to 8 months after a suspension period of no driving at all, and that is for every first-time offender, and we are only one of 8 states in the nation that are doing that.
And that's whether you're found guilty or not.
That's correct. DMV, your privilege to drive is just that. It's a privilege, not a right. So the court doesn't have jurisdiction over that, which means when you get charged with DUI, and not DWI, but DUI, you have a DMV action and you also have a court action that are moving on parallel tracks that don't really talk to one another. So one doesn't affect the other in some cases.
And an attorney comes in on the criminal side of things, so you don't have to do potential jail time.
That's correct. We come in, when you hire an attorney, you should hire an attorney who's doing not only your court case, but also your administrative hearing case at the Department of Motor Vehicles, because you have to deal with both of those at the same time. And people sometimes don't understand that you're getting hit at both places, not just one.
What advice could you give to someone maybe that made a bad decision, or maybe someone, you know, that's, I guess, has already made a bad decision, or someone that's, you know, maybe is about to make a bad decision? Just give us some tips.
Number one, if you've consumed alcohol, don't operate a motor vehicle. That's number one. That is the message. And secondly, if you're making the decision to drive, don't base it on how you feel, because sometimes you can consume a couple of beers and you're over the legal limit, so you shouldn't drive at all. If you think that you're super drunk, you should make a decision about whether you should take a test at all and maybe refuse a chemical test, but there are serious consequences to that. So there are some things to weigh. All
right, well, this is all great information.
Absolutely.
And, you know, again, hopefully it helps someone from making a bad decision, but if they do, I'm going to tell them how to get a hold of you so they can help, you can help them get through the whole system.
Absolutely.
Jansen & Associates wants to ensure that you are represented fairly and informed about the charges against you before you make a bad decision. They are a criminal defense law firm handling everything from traffic offenses to DUI to major felonies. Call them at 303-832-5400 or visit their website, jansenlegal.com. They offer free consultations. The number again is 303-832-5400. Jansen & Associates paid for this segment.